Hello, everyone, and welcome to our third episode in the Player Spotlight series. This week, we're going to be spotlighting the player Zupi, and as I was saying just to the stream audience, that Zupi was kind enough to see my event on AoEzone.com, where I posted this event and, the time that I'm going to stream it, and he gave me a little bit of background on some games that he gave to me. So he gave me quite a few games from the Masters of Huns tournament, which is what you're watching right now. This is a matchup against Dreams. We're going to be casting the first three games of this matchup, as well as one of the games from when Zupi played Chris. And he feels really proud about the series because this was the first series that he made it to the finals. He made it to the finals of a big tournament. Zupi, if you don't know, he's been a player around since 2004. This is going to be a part two series, a two-part series, because he's got a lot of accomplishments in the Nations Cup with Finland in Nations Cup 2 and 3. So we'll get to that at another stream, another YouTube upload. And just a little bit of background. He said in this particular tournament in 2010, this was the first tournament where the Drush Fast Castle Cavalry Archers got popularized by the Huns by Fulgor, a pro player at that time. And it was never the same then. Zupi says he played a little bit of a different style in this tournament, which sounds pretty good. And here are a few great games. After this tournament, he took a little bit of retirement from 2011 to 2014. And we'll get to those games when he comes back from retirement in the second part of the series. So this is Masters of Huns, an all-Huns tournament, where a lot of the meta of the Huns in the Age of Conquerors days was established. Huns back then, with the old balance, which you can still play on Voobly, or HD Edition, of course, but with the old balance, basically it was much more Cavalry Archer heavy, a little bit more Fast Castle heavy. Certainly the Huns were super aggressive, as they always are, but the Cavalry Archers were a little bit more discounted, and of course the Tarkans were hardly seen. So it's a little bit more of an aggressive civilization. Let's take a look at the maps in this particular game. This is the first game. We're going to be casting the first three games in the series, because I'm told they're exceptional games. Zupi has a woodline that is easy to saturate, however very forward and exposed, especially if he wants to place a lumber camp over here. He can place the lumber camp onto the right, so he's got two woodlines that are accessible. The gold is okay, it's close to his town center. It's in the same area as the wood, but the saturation is going to be a little bit hard with it being on top of a hill. Can Zupi wall? It's going to be hard to wall here. Going to be hard to wall. Can wall through here. Going to be a little bit hard to wall because of the hills. Maybe can wall in the back. So it can probably make his base a little bit easier. He's got a few deer. And either way, he should have access to stone and gold this game. It's going to be hard for Dreams to push his opponent off of those resources. Taking a look at Dreams' map, and yes, that is how you spell it. I always thought it was Drillvis for a long time, but no, it's Dreams. Stone and gold towards the back area. Now we've got a little bit of a more of a problem of wood for Dreams. He could move over to this wood. It's just going to take him a little bit longer to walk over there. This wood is exposed. Gold, stone, and second gold are forward. Deer are a little bit farther forward, so I like Zupi's map. It's a little more closed. He has the deer closer. And I just like the resource positioning a bit better. And since we're going to see three games with Dreams, I should introduce him a bit. So Dreams was, again, another top-level pro. I don't remember when he retired, probably around 2014. So he was a very, very good Finnish player as well. So both these players are Finnish. Probably goes to a little bit of the pride that Zupi takes from this tournament. And maybe calling himself the #1 Finnish player. We'll have to see it with the series. Remember, could be a win or a loss. But Dreams, in addition to being known as a very good Finnish player, was also someone that was extremely active in the community. He has one thread on AoE Zone, which used to be the old AOC Zone, which is Introduce Yourself, with some pictures of yourself, and that is the longest standing thread on AOC Zone, where players just post their pictures, and it's got like over 120 pages now. And that's nothing. He used to stream as well, was one of the first players to stream. Him, Fiage, were among the first. So a big figure in the community. And the biggest event that we had in the old days, which, it doesn't seem like anything now, but if you go to the Viper's YouTube channel, one of his most popular videos is also one of his oldest, where it's him playing Doubt in a best of 21 sometime around 2012, and Dreams casted that. So he was a big figurehead in the early days of Age of Conquerors and the Age of Conquerors community. And we all thank him for that, even though he's pretty much retired from the community nowadays. And players are going to go for a 21 pop-up Scouts Rush. So remember, this is 2010. We're still kind of... We're not saying we're discovering the meta, but this isn't 2018 meta. So we might see some small differences. Zupi, again, told to me in private message, he played this tournament a little bit different than the style that Fulgor popularized, the Drush Fast Castle Cavalry Archer style. And indeed, it looks like both players are going to go for a 22 pop-up, actually, Scout Rush. So 21 pop is definitely more common. A little unusual, Zupi has not lured these deer. The deer are right there. And neither has Dreams, although his deer are a little bit farther away. And the thing I love about Zupi's Woodline, it's very efficient, except for this villager maybe. Although, this is going to be very difficult to defend with both of his woodlines right there. So that is something that you have to take into consideration. The second woodline is more efficient right there as opposed to there. I think because of the hill, maybe just the shape of the woodline. And I disagree with this barracks position. Now, I know it seems like I'm just making things up to talk about because there's, we're in the early game of Age of Empires 2. In fact, let me turn the speed a little bit, 60, because we're on a recorded game. But you might as well put the barracks right here. That way you can start off a wall off. And these villagers are going to chop into this area eventually. So this is not really going to help him with a wall. Meanwhile, Dreams getting his stable up as well. 3 villagers building it. 3 villagers building it for Zupi. Identical. Both players getting their eco upgrades. And let's see if these spearmen are going to go aggressive or defensive. I like the first few spearmen to go aggressive. Here we go. In fact, if Dreams is paying attention, couldn't even get a hit off on Zupi's scout. That's not a good thing. Lost a lot of HP on that scout with just that one hit. So not a great start from Zupi. Already he's at a disadvantage in the scouts battle. Funny enough, 2 spearmen going together. And both players will be on scouts for some time, I assume, especially because this is an open map. Looks like Zupi's going to be attacking the right side, where we have Dreams has split up his lumber camp. I would go for this one over here. And this could do some damage. It's going to be a little bit hard to kill a villager with only 2 scouts, but it could happen. Going to go after that villager. Would have gone after that one. And not going to get it. Let's see if we can get this one. Don't want to run to the town center. Spearmen are notorious for doing that. And I had the feeling something was going on the other side. Zupi defending well, taking out the Spearman of Dreams. And it looks like Zupi was able to kill 1 villager. So now Zupi in the driver's seat, killing 1 villager and 1 scout. What the hell are these walls? These are terrible walls. Spearman's a little bit out of position. And I think this villager could go down if the villager walks the wrong way, and there we go. So both players taking a villager. However, Zupi killing 3 scouts. And that's more of a poor play from Dreams than anything else. That's villager very low. Those scouts can ride out in front of it. But the spearman is probably going to block. 4 HP left. And not going to get it. Discovering the meta in 2010. Yeah, not exactly. The funny thing is about the meta, it evolves very, very slowly most of the time. So even now, there's still small changes that are occurring. So the meta is really never established. Especially when you have balance changes, like we do now. Now, interestingly, Zupi has transitioned. I don't want to say transitioned away from scouts because he's still building them, but transitioned to archery ranges. This is always a little bit tough, as you can't have 7 villagers right on gold right away as soon as you go from scouts to archers, so Zupi's not going to be able to make archers out of both ranges right now. And meanwhile, Dreams is on a single archery range. And he could probably produce out of that pretty well. Now, Dreams might want to consider a tower here, especially if he feels like he's gone behind. He's already behind in the military. He knows that. So I would heavily consider a tower in this area. Has a few idle villages he needs to sort out. And this is going to be a very strong attack with those archery range units built in there. Especially if this scout is going to sacrifice itself. Going to lose a lot more HP. So far, better micro from Zupi. In 2019, the map is fully walled in minute 8. Sometimes. Fully towered by then. Oh, there you go. So Dreams does have a few archery range units out. I think this is pretty good. I think that Zupi probably got that archery range up a little bit too soon. As you can see, Dreams has the same number of archery range units, even though he just barely got up his second archery range right now. And that villager is walling himself out, so that's a suicideville. No bloodlines from either player quite yet. And I wouldn't be surprised that both players are still building scouts. Zupi has 2 tucked away at home. I would send those forward. I don't know what those are doing back at home. And looks like Dreams is going to have enough to defend. I think this is a missed opportunity for Zupi by keeping his army back at home. Perhaps he could pressure better if this army was joining up in the north. As you can see, Dreams has a lot more scouts, just because he's been producing more. And this army could even get trapped. There is a little bit of an escape route on the left. But the army's looking fairly trapped. Dreams is reinforcing much better than Zupi. Zupi is still at home. And Dreams is not going to pursue that. Because he probably feels that Zupi is either going to make a counterattack or Zupi is going to reinforce, which is a wrong assumption to make. Bloodlines for Zupi, so Zupi is really feeling aggressive. And I would too, especially with that gold. And no towers on the gold. And I like what Dreams has done with this walling. Just needs maybe a few more buildings through the front. Or a little bit of palisade, and that'll be good to go. As well, there's some walls on the right side. So Zupi's playing very aggressive. There's a hole between the archery ranges, which doesn't do any favors. Any quick walling? Oh, too late. This is going to be a disaster. These scouts have bloodlines. Or not. Zupi not going in. These villagers can run back. Dreams will probably lose 1 villager. These scouts for Dreams don't have bloodlines quite yet. But there are more numbers. And then archery range units moving in onto the gold. Most of these are... There's quite a few skirmishes in there, so I don't think a villager went down, actually. This is a big missed opportunity for Zupi once again. I don't think he killed a single villager in that raid. And that looked pretty bad for Dreams. At first. Oh my god, no towers anywhere. You were born in the wrong generation. Maybe, yeah. It was a different playstyle back then. And this could be a great fight for Dreams. I wish he had bloodlines, but... Oh, he does have bloodlines. My bad. I must have missed that. That's okay, the archers will clean it up. And now Zupi could be in a little bit of trouble. Zupi has a good villager lead. Has a 5 villager lead, but this army could be going down right now. And Zupi's looking to go up to Castle Age. There he goes. So let's see how much of this army Dreams can take out. He's going to upgrade the armor for his scouts. Let's go over Dreams' perspective. I bet he's on 0 food. Yeah, hardly anything. Now he's got 3 scouts. He's got 2 at home. And I think Dreams is just going to go all in feudal. Which means he has to make the damage now. Which means he can't go back at home. Alright, so Dreams is just going to regroup a little bit. And push out. He needs to make the damage now. And this is a smart decision from Zupi to place the tower on the gold, I think. Let's see who wins this engagement. We have hill advantage for Dreams. Just barely. And Zupi just wants to hold out until he can get the crossbow upgrade. Alright, scouts can move in on the wood line, but there's the tower there, and there is the spearman as well. Zupi should transition to the back wood line, in my opinion. And so far, Dream's not really doing that much damage against Zupi's economy. So Zupi should be in a great position. Just gotta upgrade his upgrades. Probably not lose his scouts this early. Ooh, that was not nice. And does he have enough to take this? It's gonna be close. He upgraded the +1 armor when going up to the next age. Looks like Zupi does not have enough to take this, but he's gonna bring in the reinforcements. Now he has knights. And there's only one spearman in the mix. Villager coming forward as well. Might be a misclick. These knights are just so strong. This might be the game from Zupi. I saw the crossbow upgrade come in, but I don't see any crossbows. Looks like knights is going to be the way to go. And the knights have cleaned up everything, and Dreams is in a lot of trouble. In a lot of trouble. The Dreams is just going to try to distract a little bit more with the scouts, and at home he needs to wall. Oh my god, Dreams is just stuck in... He's stuck in Feudal Age. Gonna add a second barracks. Oh god. Oh god. +2 armor coming out on the knights. This is a horrible situation for Dreams. The Dreams has to defend here. If he loses this fight, it's game over because those knights are going to go to town. Gonna get blocked a little bit. Good start to the fight. The spearmen are going to get on top of the knights right away. And I think the knights are just going to be too strong. Now all the spearmen are down. The spearmen were meant to counter scouts, not knights. You got the pikemen for knights. And I think that's it. The knights are just going to go to town. Back at Zupi's base, his economy's working perfectly fine. Can pump knights all day. Even going to get the forging upgrade for his knights, which means they can kill villagers faster. Gonna need about, what, 2 or 3 spearmen per knight. Now just a ton of raiding for Dreams. So Dreams playing this a little more traditional, going up to the Castle Age. Sorry, Zupi playing a little more traditional, going up to the Castle Age. Third barracks from Dreams, maybe he's not giving up. And just overall in the early game, just a lot better micro. I think that forced Dreams to over-invest into scouts to catch up in the army count. And there you go. There's the, well, no GG, but resign. There's the resignation from Dreams. So Zupi taking the first game in this Masters of Huns tournament in 2011. Let's see what happens in the second game coming up right now.